been smoking a lot lately because I keep watching these videos of Barak Lurie, and it's stressful. I want to know what's going on inside his mind that lets him think, this is a good idea to say. Take a look.
Without God, there is no reason to be courageous.
Tell that to the millions of brave animals on this planet who do more braver things than a mere human like you. I mean, look at honey badgers. These little guys don't actually believe in a god of any kind, and yet they'll fight a mutated black bear on steroids with chainsaw for arms, just because it sneezed the wrong way. But no, seriously, honey badgers are brave as shit, and they don't believe in a god. You can be somebody who doesn't believe in a god and be courageous. You think those in war tend to always believe in their whatever god they believe in? When a good portion usually tend to leave their faith, mostly due to them realizing why would a god allow such atrocities to even take place. I don't believe in a god, and yet I gather up the courage despite my crippling anxiety to create these videos, and trust me, it takes a lot more courage for me to do this than you think. Like a lot. Like I'm anxious right now filming this.
Hi folks, Barak Lurie again on the Barak Lurie Show, talking again about atheism destroys.
Hey guys, it's me, George here, and this video I'll be discussing and responding to, well, the video that's been playing before us, just like last time. So let's take a deep breath, and let's dive on in.
And yet another segment of the book to talk about how godlessness destroys courage. In this book, Atheism Destroys, I go over 2020 as the year of fear.
Oh, a shameless plug for your book I'll never read. Unless I gather enough Patreon supporters who want me to actually read it. You can subscribe to me for as little as $1 a month on there. But that isn't the point. But until then, no thanks. I don't actually need to read your book, since I've got these videos you've made.
How COVID and our reaction to COVID demonstrates exactly my point about courage. You may have noticed in these past 2 or so years that those who resisted the mask mandates, the vaccine mandates, who fought with the schools, tended to be religious. They had a sense of what's right and what's wrong.
Does Barak realize that the majority of people dying from this sickness are religious people who refuse to wear a mask and get vaccinated and avoid taking any type of precautions? Yeah, many more people gained religious belief thanks to COVID. That's literally a part of human nature, to cling to hope. But it's literally a part of human nature to cling to things that you have hope for, just to try and pacify ourselves to not go insane. How is it right or wrong to ignore the advice of well-educated people trying to save your lives? It doesn't really make any sense. Maybe it could be seen that way, but if that's the case, if it's wrong and bad to not take easy, simple precautions to protect yourself and others from a deadly, life-altering virus, knowingly, while potentially spreading and endangering others on the grounds of my freedom, I'm free to do whatever I want, but I can't punch people legally, nor can I spread biohazards, nor can I spread dangerous viruses on purposeful ignorance.
Now, maybe they were wrong. Maybe they were endangering everyone. That's not the point that I'm trying to make.
Many of those people who willingly chose not to take any precautions suffered and died. And many of those people wouldn't have been affected as much if these people would have taken precautions, have taken vaccines, had worn masks, had done anything, washed their hands, instead of ignoring it in favor of injecting bleach, or using the supernatural power of prayer, or acupuncture treatments, or chakra lining treatments, or drinking mercury, listening to the uneducated pastors and priests and bishops and other cult leaders, and not actually the people who they should be listening to in the first place.
The point I am trying to make is that they acted courageously.
You can't be fucking serious. It is not courageous to ignore health advice in the face of potential suffering and harm. What's next? You're going to somehow say that jumping into lava pits is a good, courageous thing to do? Do you not see what you're saying, Barak? I'm getting concerned. Barak, I'm really concerned about your mental health, because jumping into lava isn't courageous, and neither is using your religious beliefs to ignore medical advice, potentially harming others, and if you have kids, definitely endangering them.
They fought against the system. And the question is why?
I'm surprised you didn't say Rage Against the Machine, but the system was fought against. Why didn't you guys fight against race inequality? Why didn't you guys fight against homelessness in America? Or fight against the system and improve America's well-being by raising the minimum wage greatly, while forcing the lazy CEOs of major corporations to live off of our current minimum wage? Wouldn't that have been better? I think so. Barak seems happy about not wanting to have a happy, healthy society, but one of religious tyranny.
I'd put it to you that the reason why is they had a sense of God, and they knew that their purpose was to see and do God's will.
God's will? Aren't there Bible verses which says that certain sick people cannot even enter into a temple of God? So why are there so many reports of whole churches getting sick from this virus? Plus, God's will, according to what is stated within the Old or New Testament, is not something that we should be doing. If you followed the laws even Jesus said were good, you'd be labeled a criminal in today's eyes.
Now, when you don't have God in your life, and you don't have a sense of a rallying cry around America, for example, Western civilization, the notion of free speech and freedom, things that we have talked about in the values in Atheism Destroys, what do you have to rally around?
This is just a ridiculous argument on the grounds of other people from around the globe who don't live or believe in Western society or a God or even live in America or even heard about America, like from the past, which are able to survive and prosper. They're able to survive and prosper all this time, even right now, without whatever it is that Barak's poorly trying to imply.
Well, here comes this COVID crisis. And it afforded everyone this incredible opportunity to unite, to give them a sense of purpose, to show everyone else that they were doing something. And that was very important to them. It was a purpose not unlike that of some, say, religious people who believe that they have a purpose in following God's will and doing God's will.
Barak, you're acting like us rallying behind COVID was a fun little trend that the world did when it wasn't. To unite us together, when the truth is, people are trying to prevent themselves and others from catching a life-altering virus, dude. Not wanting to suffer and die from something that we can easily stop the spread of with precautions is not the same as worshipping an unprovable slave-loving God that you want to so desperately cling on to.
Likewise, the horrible killing of George Floyd in May of 2020, we saw the reaction of so many cities with riots and other demonstrations, and we saw how people immediately changed their tune when it came to what they perceived to be a racist killing. Suddenly, it was okay to go out in protests, demonstrations, and otherwise. But because it was allegedly about racism, governments and everyone else kowtowed to the mob. It was fear. 2020, as I said, was the year of fear.
Dude, no. The unjustified murder of somebody by racist individuals due to decades of racist policies and racist police gangs that we know that exist that have been documented and are still active to this day, as well as the appropriate response made by many due to being so fucking tired of being persecuted for their race, is not something somebody uneducated on the subject like your biased-ass preaching self should be discussing.
I believe, especially with the COVID crisis, that had this happened, say, 50 years ago, 75 years ago, they would say this is unacceptable. We have to go about living our lives. But that, of course, was during a time where people were much more religiously observant and had God as the center of their lives.
Well, you see, if those scientists and medical experts had the actual data and evidence of COVID and the equipment that we have today, they would literally be able to do and say the same things. The only difference is not many people will be fooled by individuals such as yourself trying to line their pockets of money, while others suffer since there isn't an internet to mislead people with misinformation to. I'm just saying.
Now, people made the connection that somehow fighting COVID was like fighting the Nazis in World War II.
How the hell could you possibly compare people saving themselves and others from suffering from a horrible virus the same as literal racist Nazis? I would like to know where the logistics of this is because I can't seem to comprehend it at all.
But not so fast. You see, in World War II, we sacrificed lives for the sake of saving civilization. Today, we're sacrificing civilization for the sake of lives.
Dude, human lives are far more important. And no, they're not trying to save people's lives or civilization. You know what this jackass is implying when he means civilization? His and his friends' pockets. That's the main thing for these people. money. Since most people stayed home, less profits are made by those corporations, and especially the churches. The church makes untaxable income, and the best way to do so is by making their followers show up in person. And if not, what's the point in paying for the church? And Barak wouldn't want that, because he makes a profit off this crap. The economy is not more important than the lives that actually run the economy. Okay, Barak? You're like 87 years old. You should have learned this by now, man.
That's a big turnabout. And the reason why is because godlessness has defeated courage.
Barak, you literally didn't explain how your fallacious argument isn't fallacious. How does COVID restrictions from government officials, who, by the way, are mostly God-fearing Christians like yourself, somehow equate to godlessness destroying courage? That's what we call illogical, Barak.
If we understand that the only way to get back this sort of national sense of courage is to bring God in our lives.
How about you prove your God before you say that you want to bring a fictional character into my lives? Many God believers died ignoring precautions, and yet you ignore all of them. Why is that, Barak? Because it doesn't fit your agenda.
Without God, there is no reason to be courageous.
Not true at all, Barak. It was courage that got my godless ass up to make this video. So this proves your entire video wrong again, Barak.
Why should you? Why not just do whatever you want every day? Because after all, from the atheist point of view, there is no hereafter. Make the most of things right now because that's all there is.
That's nihilism, not atheism. Atheism is simply the lack of belief in a god or gods due to lack of evidence or lack of conceptual understanding of what a god even is. That's it. Nothing else. It has nothing to say about anything else. That's it. It has nothing else to do with that. I agree on the latter part, however. Live your life because this is the only one you've got. Just don't harm others. Why does this doomer keep assuming that all atheists are sinners and are evil people when I can guarantee there are at least 3 atheists working for him right now because they don't know what else to do? You ever heard of the Clergy Foundation?
Those with God in their lives, they know that there's something worth fighting for. Something that goes far beyond them. Something that even goes far beyond their lives and even their freedom. That's God.
Can you prove it though? You keep making these bad arguments and these horrible excuses, and yet you don't seem to understand how epistemology works, Barak. You literally didn't give a single valid reason as to why atheism destroys courage.
And to do God's will. That's the reason why godlessness destroys courage.
The video is literally just a video about promoting your own book that nobody will actually willingly read unless they're a part of your little congregation.
I'm Barak Lurie. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk with you next week.
I'm George 3, and if you enjoyed this video, why not check out my latest video on why Barak wants to indoctrinate your kids. It's interesting, you should check it out. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Bye, everyone. Check out my Patreon. Bye. So, I wanted to say thank you all for watching. I appreciate every single person who viewed this video. Thank you. If you have any comments or thoughts, leave them be in the comment section. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section, please. I read every single one of them. If you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you get notified when I upload next. And, yeah. Have a great day.